Hi, and welcome to Noble Character Crafts. My name is Amy, and I'm coming to you from eastern Nebraska, where I live with my husband and our 5 children. Today is Friday, October 11th, 2024. A huge welcome to anybody new or any returning viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you really enjoy this episode. This is a channel all about my crafty life, and today I have knitting and crocheting to share with you all. I will have links to the places that you can find me in the description box below, as well as the show notes for this episode. I am hosting a year-long make-along on Instagram this year called the Make 9 2024 Mal, and that's for you to join in the Make 9 challenge, where you choose 9 projects that you would like to make this year, make a grid of those 9 projects and post it to Instagram along with the hashtag Make 9 2024 Mal, and then also anytime you post a picture of one of your works in progress or one of your finished objects from your board, then you're more than welcome to include that hashtag as well, and that will include you in the drawing to win a prize, which I draw periodically throughout the year. I have quite a few prizes to give away today. All of the yarn prizes that I am giving away today were donated to me by a viewer of this channel, so I am happy to now send them off to those of you who have been participating in the make-along. This first prize I have shown before a couple of episodes ago. It was, I announced that it was being given away, but the winner never contacted me, so it is going off to someone else, hopefully. It is these 2 beautiful hanks of yarn from Malabrigo. And I just reskeined these this morning because they were a little bit loose. And this one, this bright pop of yellow was hiding inside the skein. I was surprised to see that color pop out. So anyway, they're so beautiful. So this is Malabrigo Worsted, which is worsted weight, 100% superwash merino wool. And the colorway is called Arco Iris. They're 100 grams each. And the winner of these hanks is at Charlie Girl Crochet, who is Charlie. Thank you so much, Charlie, for participating in the Make 9 2024 Mal. Congratulations to you. For you and all of the other winners, if you would please contact me via direct message on Instagram and let me know your first and last name and mailing address, and I will be more than happy to get these lovely yarn prizes off in the mail to you as soon as possible. The next gorgeous yarn is this enormous hank of yarn by Plymouth Yarn Company. It is the Mushishi yarn, which is 95% wool, 5% silk. It is 250 grams, approximately 491 yards. And the color is just a number, 27. You'll have to do the math. It doesn't actually say what weight of yarn that is, and I can't think of what that would be. I guess maybe worsted weight. I think so. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's just a gorgeous colorway. And it's so fun that it's such an enormous hank of yarn. So the winner of this beauty is Sonia at Say Taylor 24 on Instagram. Congratulations to you, Sonia. Next, we have 2 beautiful hanks of yarn from Manos del Uruguay in the Alegria base, which is superwash merino polyamide 75-25 blend. And the colorway is called Cabaret. These are fingering weight, 100 grams each. They're so pretty. And the winner of these is Lori at Lori Gray on Instagram. Congratulations to you. Next, we have 2 beautiful hanks of yarn from Lorna's Laces. These are in the colorway Niagara, a soulmate base, 55% superwash merino wool, 15% nylon, and 30% Outlast viscose. They are also fingering weight, 100 grams each. And the winner of these is at story.stitcher on Instagram. And the last prize are these two beautiful hanks from Knitology by Knit Crate. It was a collaboration that they did with Brooklyn Boy Knits. Two different colorways, but they're both on the Knitology worsted base, which is 100% superwash merino wool worsted weight, 100 grams each. This colorway is called Bushwick. And then this colorway is called Concrete Jungle. And of course, they look beautiful together. The winner of these is Connie at ConnieFTB on Instagram. Congratulations to you as well. Again, please just contact me via direct message on Instagram and let me know your mailing information. Everybody that has won, congratulations to all of you. And thank you so much for continuing to participate in the Make 9 2024 MAL. As I always say, it's never too late to join in. You can join in at any time. You're not required to finish anything off of your board. It's just a participatory make-along. All whips are you can include all of your whips, or all of your projects could be whips, and any craft is also allowed in this make-along. So if you do lots of different crafts, you can include those in your board. And I haven't mentioned in a while, but if you ever need help making a board, I'm more than happy to help you do that. If that's a tricky thing for you to do, you can just let me know the different patterns that you want to include on your board. Again, if you just contact me via direct message on Instagram and let me know the 9 patterns that you want on your board, I can look those up and make a board for you. So don't hesitate to contact me if you have any issues with that. I'm more than happy to help out. I have a few finished objects to share with you all. The first one, I'm so pleased that I was able to finish off the Italian winter shawl that I have been working on for several months. I started this back in March 26th of this year. It is one of the projects from my Make 9 board. And I wanted to use up a bunch of fingering weight leftovers that I had after I finished my Ariana cardigan. And the majority of the yarn that I put into this project is Knit Picks Palette, which is fingering weight, non-superwash, 100% Peruvian Highland wool in a variety of colors. The only 2 colors that are not Knit Picks are the black and camel color at the very first tip here. And I'm not going to be able to remember what those were, but I think I can list it in the description box down below. But they were just the last little bits that I had left over of 2 other yarns that were also fingering weight, 100% non-superwash wool yarn. So I held those two fingering weights together to get more of a DK weight for this pattern. I used US 6 4mm needles, and that is a variation from the pattern. So the pattern calls for worsted to Aran weight yarn, I believe, and I just, used the fingering weight held double, so I had more of a thin yarn gauge than what the pattern called for. But this is such a simple, easily adjustable pattern. It's free. The designer is Francesca of An Italian Knitter, and it is just, really simple to do. It's just mainly garter stitch. There's a beautiful I-cord edging that you make as you go. She does include in the pattern rows every once in a while that include an eyelet pattern, but I eliminated that since I had so much variation with my color changing. I didn't want to mess around with doing eyelets as well because I thought it was busy enough as it is. I just ordered the scraps that I had from according to the weight of the yarn that I had left over. So I started with the smallest bits and went up to the yarns that I had the most of. Whenever I changed yarns, I used the Russian join method, so I didn't have to worry about weaving in all these little ends when I was done. I just kind of did it along the way with that Russian join method. And if you're not familiar with that, you can look it up on YouTube. It's easy to find. And I love that method. I use it a lot. And yeah, it's just simple garter stitch all the way along. You just increase on every right row. And I work through all the different colors that I had. And I love how it turned out. Last time I recorded, I had just started working with the gold and black held together. And so I just needed to add a few more inches, and then the end is bound off with an I-cord bind off, and that turned out beautifully. For that bind off, I ended up holding Oregon Coast Heather is the colorway from Knit Picks palette. I just held that together, so that's a solid color on the bind off, because I had run out of the brass heather, which is the golden color. Anyway, I just love it so much. I'm so happy with it. So my intention of this shawl was that I really just wanted to have a shawl that I could have handy on to use on early chilly mornings when I first wake up. A lot of times I'm chilly and I just want to wrap up in something, and I thought this would be perfect. So it's really nice and big, and I will most likely wear it like this, just cozying up in the morning, and it's just the perfect size. I wanted it to go down to my elbow, and it does, and it's, you know, nice, and I can pull it up around my neck really nicely. It's just great. You may notice that you can see some pearl bumps or I don't know, you can see where I changed colors, because I did not, whenever I changed colors, I didn't care if I was on the right or wrong side. So there are these little pearl blip, I don't know, you can see where I changed colors. There's not a clean line, I guess, whenever I changed colors, because it didn't matter to me which side I was on. So I guess it's reversible in that way, because there's no one side that's perfect, because both sides are, you know, have areas where you can see the color change. But that's fine with me. It's very scrappy and fun. I just love it so much. So I think that in the pattern she kind of says you can just knit it as long as you, or as big as you want it to be. And of course that's what I did. Mine measures 68 inches across the top edge here. So from tip to tip, it's 68 inches. So that's a really nice big size. And then if you measure straight down the middle, from the top straight edge down to the tip, that measures 36 inches. So I'm really happy with the size of it, and it's nice and cozy and warm, and yeah, I'm just really pleased with it. I finished it on October 5th, and I think that's everything for this. I'm so pleased with it, and yeah, I've finished it just in the nick of time for the cooler temperatures to be coming. I have already used it one chilly morning, but it's kind of warming up again now, although this upcoming week is supposed to be quite chilly. At the end of this upcoming week, it's supposed to be in the 60s, so I'm excited for that. I also finished the little Musselburgh hat that I was working on last time. So this is the Musselburgh by Ysolda Teague, and I knit the baby size for this one, which is so adorable. I really am happy with how this turned out. I knit this in some mystery yarn that was gifted to me by one of the viewers of this channel. I am pretty sure that it is a fingering weight, but I'm not sure of the makeup of it. My guess would be that it's either a sock yarn, 75-25, or maybe it's 100% merino wool, but of course it's just a guess. I started this on September 18th and finished it on October 1st. I used US 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles. I got a gauge of 8 stitches to 1 inch. And it is, I'm sure you're all familiar with this pattern, but it is knit from the crown, and then you increase, you make a long tube, and then you decrease at the other end, and then you fold it into itself, and it's just a really nice, then it has at least a double layer of thickness, and then if you fold up that brim, then you get a quadruple layer of thickness around the ears. And I think this is just going to be so cute. I am going to be gifting this to a new little baby that just arrived, and I am very excited about it. I was thinking that this pattern would not take very much yarn, but this hat actually weighs 75 grams, which was more than what I had expected. I figured it would be under 50 grams. So I was when I first started this, I was thinking that this would be great to make a lot of these hats to gift. And I may, but I don't have a ton of scraps that are, 75 grams. I was kind of hoping that I would be able to use up my scraps that are under 50 grams to make a little baby hat. And I suppose if I just did a single thickness instead of a long tube, I would obviously use a lot less yarn. So I may look into some other patterns that could use up a little less yarn to make some cute little baby hats to have as gifts, because they're so cute and I think they would be, of course, really useful. The coloring in this I think is so pretty. I love the gray and pink combination. I think it turned out really sweet. All right, those are my finished objects, and so I will go on to my works in progress. I am very excited that I have finished all of the full motifs for my Scrappy Hexi blanket that I have been working on. So I have, let's see, 5 more. Yeah, the last 5. So this is 24, numbers 24 through 28. I needed to make a total of 28 full motifs for this blanket that I am making. And I'll just share with you these 5 that I finished. I'm using fingering weight yarn, a C 2.75 millimeter hook. I am following a tutorial that I have here on my YouTube channel, which I will link down below. In that tutorial, I do change colors in each hexi, in each little tiny hexi 3 times, because it was the tutorial that I made this blanket that is behind me here. And for these, I am using a solid color for each small hexi. So that is a difference from the tutorial. But otherwise, I'm following that tutorial pattern. And I join my hexis together as I go, and I crochet over all of my yarn ends as I join, so I don't have any ends. So this is the back side. It also looks nice and neat. And I love how these all turn out. Each one is so beautiful in its own way, I think, and then they make me so happy. I'm still really enjoying the process of making these. Here is number 25. Super fun colors in these as well, or in this one as well. Number 26. I used the leftovers from my yarn ink Colorwork socks that I showed on my last episode. That was the sock set here. And then this final color was one of the mystery unlabeled cakes of yarn that Sharon sent to me that I shared on my last episode as well. So that was fun to use that pretty mint color. Number 27. And lastly, number 28. I think they're so pretty. This one's perfect for fall. Oh, I think they're so much fun, and I am so excited. Now I get to kind of lay them all out. I still need to make 4 half motifs to kind of fill in the top 2 and bottom 2 sections. I'll show you how I'm going to lay out my blanket in just a minute, but I just wanted to share my huge pile of all of, I can add my new ones here. My huge pile of all these hexis is here. They're all in order from the first to the last that I've made. So you can just, here, I'll give you a quick flip through. If you haven't seen, there's just so much variety of colors here. And I just love them so much. They're so pretty. So I'm very excited to kind of lay these out now and get an idea of how I want to organize them and lay them out, and hopefully I can disperse the colors really well. So the way I'm planning on laying this out, I got this idea from this old leisure arts publication called A Year of Afghans, book 5. And in here there is a different hexi blanket, but I just found this layout and I'm going to be copying that layout, but I want to make some half motifs to make the top and the bottom sections be straight across. So I am going to make some little half motifs to go in those 4 spots. And then I'll be completely done with my motifs and we'll be able to start joining them. So in the same fashion that you see on there, I'm going to be, instead of the green color that they have in between, I'm going to be using a bare colored, or not colored, just a bare yarn, undyed yarn to join my motifs. So, but it will look a lot similar to that, but instead of the green color joining them, I will have, you know, a cream color. And I'm so excited to start doing that. I am a little bit nervous that I'm gonna lose steam on it, you know. Once I am making all of these cream colored hexes, it's not gonna be nearly as exciting probably as it was to work through all of these fun colors that I had in these motifs. But I'm hopeful that I will not lose steam and I will be excited to see it coming together. So we'll see how that comes along. I started that project on May 15th of this year. So it's been, you know, a work in progress for a little while, but for such a big blanket, it's really not too bad that it's taken me, you know, a few months to get those done. It's quite a lot. So I'm happy with that. I have a few other works in progress to share with you. The first one is being held in this project bag that I made myself. And I really love this fun fall fabric paired with the corduroy. And in here is another project from my Make 9 board, but I did make an adjustment to this because I had originally planned on making a different cardigan, but when I tried to purchase that cardigan, it was not available to purchase for some reason. So I changed my plan to instead knit the Close to Me cardigan by Lily Kate France. And I've made some good progress on this project as well. I am using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted weight yarn in the Cranberry colorway. That is, again, 100% non-superwash Peruvian Highland wool, and I'm holding it together with Knit Picks Aloft yarn, also in the Cranberry colorway, and that is 72% Super Kid mohair and 28% silk lace weight. And I am making the size 2. I am really enjoying how this one is coming along. I think it's going to be so beautiful when it's done. I'm really happy with how it's coming along. And let's see, I have a progress keeper up here on this left-hand shoulder section. That's where I was last time I recorded an episode. So I had knit the upper back piece, I had knit the right shoulder section here in the front and the front flap, I guess. And I was working on the left side, and then I finished that and was able to join them all together and split for the sleeves. So I've just knit a little over an inch under the arm. And then I have switched to start working the sleeve. So it is very similar to the last cardigan that I made, where it is a set-in sleeve and there's some short row shaping to form this sleeve cap. And I just love the fit of that. It's so nice. I am not doing any of the sleeve decreases. I am just knitting my sleeves straight. That's my preference usually for sweaters, and it just works the best for me. I enjoy making them that way, and I enjoy the fit of them. I'm not sure if I can try this on. I'll see. I don't think that my arm is, I don't think I can get my arm into this small circular because I'm using a 12-inch circular right now. Maybe I can just get it on. I don't want to lose any stitches. I don't know. Maybe I better not. Well, I'll just do it like this. You can kind of get an idea. It's not, I don't want to pull it up any further, but I'm about to the elbow probably. So you can get an idea. It's fitting beautifully, very similar to the last one that I made, which I shared on my last episode, which is a different pattern, but the same type of construction. And I love it. I just love that set-in sleeve fit. It's so nice. I'm so happy with it. I started this project on September 25th. I'm using US 7 4.5 millimeter needles for the majority of the project. I did use US 4 3.5 millimeter needles for the garter sections over the shoulders, which she recommends going down in your needle size for that little section. And yeah, I think that covers it. I am enjoying this. It's, you know, obviously very mindless right now because I'm just knitting in the round for the sleeves and I don't have to think about it too much at this point. I will, once I get closer to the end, I'll have to pay attention to how long I want to make the sleeves and so forth. But yeah, it's a really fun project at this point. Nice and easy. Actually, all of my projects are really easy right now. I don't have any complicated projects on the go, which I sometimes like having a project that I can really, that really takes my attention. So I may start something soon or work on. I do have another Hexi project, another blanket project that takes more concentration, and I haven't worked on that in a while. So I may pick that back up because it's kind of been hibernating for several weeks. So I may pick that back up, but we'll see. I think I'll show this one next. My next work in progress is being held in another bag that I made myself in this fun fall fabric. And I am making the Colorwork Cuff Club socks for the month of October. This is a pattern by Summer Lee, and this is now the third month that she has done this Colorwork Cuff Club, and I've enjoyed participating in that from the beginning. So for the month of October, she released 2 Colorwork patterns again, which was so much fun. The first one was a cute little ghost pattern, but I decided to make this one, which has these little apples on it. And oh, I think it's so fun. I'm so happy with how these are turning out. So I am using all Knit Picks Stroll Tweed for this project. Well, I did use a tiny little blip of brown for the stems, which is a different yarn. I don't even remember what it is exactly, but all the other yarns are Knit Picks Stroll Tweed, which is fingering weight. 65% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon, and 10% Donegal tweed. The main color I'm using is called Indigo Heather. I used Down Heather for this background color. The green in the leaves is Dill Heather, and then the apple is done in Firecracker Heather. So I cast on 60 stitches using US 0 2mm needles and did the 2x1 ribbing that she calls for in the pattern. She does not have a 60 stitch count in her pattern, I'm pretty sure, but that's the stitch count that works best for my socks. The 2x1 ribbing I did for 12 rounds, which is about 1 inch of ribbing. She, in the original pattern, has this background color as her cuff color, but I wanted a bit of a contrast, so I wanted the main color in the cuff. And then after I did the cuff, I increased my stitch count to 72 stitches, and I switched my needle size to 2.53mm needles, which were also 9-inch circulars, and I knit the color work on those. I cast on 2 at a time, magic loop, and then when I did the color work, I did those individually, 1 sock at a time. And I also knit the stitches inside out so that my colorwork floats were being passed along the outside of my sock tube. Here's a glimpse of my floats. And that works really well for me to get a nice loose fit through my color work, because I have in the past had a tendency to make my color work socks too tight. So increasing my stitches by quite a bit to 72 stitches, which is the large size in her pattern. and increasing my needle size by quite a bit. That all helps, as well as using 9-inch circulars and knitting my tube inside out. All of those things combined really helped me to get a nice loose fit throughout my color work. After I finished the color work, then I again reduced my stitches down to 60 stitches and switched back to the US 0 2mm needles, and again put them both on one set of needles here so that I can knit them 2 at a time, because that is that's the way I prefer to make my socks. So now I am just going to be knitting plain stockinette in this Indigo Heather colorway. Again, she has in the pattern, she has knit stripes throughout the entirety of the leg on these apple socks, but I am just, like I did last month, I'm just going to be knitting the rest of my sock in a plain, in this solid color. I'm not going to be doing any striping. I probably won't add any contrast for the heels or toes or anything. I'll just keep this Indigo Heather as the rest of the sock. And I think they'll be really fun. So I'm very happy with those. They're so cute. I started these on October 2nd, and I haven't put a ton of work into them. I have just kind of saved them for on-the-go knitting, because at this point they're super easy to take along with me if I need to go somewhere and have a project to work on the go. I have another project that is also perfect for on-the-go knitting. Oh, I'm using all my own bags today. That doesn't always happen, but I made this bag as well. And I'm making another Musselburgh hat. So I am using up some yarn that I knit an Odyssey shawl by Joji Locatelli for a friend of mine, using this yarn, which is Yarn Bee authentic hand-dyed yarn in the Hibiscus Palm colorway. And I had quite a bit of leftovers, almost a little over 100 grams. I think it was 105 grams I had left over of this yarn. And my friend said I could go ahead and make something else using up the rest of this yarn. So I'm making a Musselburgh hat, again by Ysolda Teague. And I started this on October 2nd as well. And I'm using US 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles for this project as well. I'm making the adult small size. I got 7.5 stitches to 1 inch for this gauge. And these two colorways are a little bit off. I don't know if you can tell in this skein, but this one is what I'm using right now, and it's quite a bit lighter. It's got a lot more of the teal color, especially, is lighter in color. But anyway, I'm just going to use up all of this skein. And then I think I might, when I transition from the two skeins, since they are a little bit different, I'm not sure if that color will be great or not. I think it'll be okay. I was thinking of just putting a small band of this burgundy color in between, which will probably be around that halfway mark, to kind of split up the two colors, just so you don't see a jarring difference between the two colorways. I thought it might look a little odd if they were right next to each other, because you can tell that they're quite a bit different, I think. So that's my plan. Otherwise, I'm just going to follow the pattern as written for the adult small size. So those are all of the projects that I have to share with you today. I think that's it. It seems like a short episode. Is it? A little bit. I've lately had really long episodes, so it's probably nice to have a shorter one. And I think that's all I have to share with you all. Oh, I did want to share some exciting news. Last night, we got to see the Northern Lights, which was so awesome. I've never seen them before in real life, and it was super cool. I had kind of forgotten about it. There was a couple of chances this last weekend that we were supposed to be able to see them, but we couldn't. We tried and we couldn't see anything. And then again, I had heard that there was a chance of seeing them last night, but I forgot about it. And then my husband just randomly went outside when it was dark, which he doesn't always do, but he was just going outside to get some fresh air, or I don't know. And he noticed that the sky was like red. And so he called me outside and said, "Come look at this. There's something weird in the sky." And I was like, "Oh, that's right. We're supposed to be able to see the Northern Lights." And we could, and it was so red way up high. And then down low, there were some lighter streaks and even some green. And so we drove up to the top of our hill where we could really see to the north a lot better. And It was, the whole sky from east to west was just filled with color, and it was so beautiful. Now, when I've seen the Aurora Borealis on TV or videos before, it's really green and purple, and it wasn't like that, and like swirling and moving really fast, and it wasn't like that. It did come and go, it like got brighter and then it faded and got brighter and faded, but the colors were more steady than what I've seen on videos, and not as bright. It was, like I said, it was mostly red, which I don't ever remember seeing videos of that before. But it was so cool. I was so thankful to be able to see them. Like, what a gift. That was such a treat. And anyway, so I tried to capture it on video, but it didn't show up for some reason. I even took my iPad to see if I could get a video of it. And when I would try to take a photo, when I tried to take a photo, I could see the color, but then it wouldn't even register the photo, I guess. Like, I tried to take a photo and it showed me, but then it wouldn't take it actually. I guess just because it was such a grainy, bad quality. I don't know. It didn't work. I tried to take a picture. I tried to take a video. Neither of those things work. So I'm sorry I can't share with you what we got to see, but I just wanted to share that we got to see that because it was so neat. So anyway, I think that's all I have to share. And I hope that you all enjoyed this episode and seeing the things that I've been working on. I hope that you're enjoying the things that you're working on as well. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.